in play. Necrophos doesn't need much farm. You're looking at level 6 timers across the board, and then you run at Boom. Force them to just play that fast game as well. Boom, for their part, I mean, you mentioned that center not caring for the PL. That's a nice response to it. You've got great vehicles for the Lifestealer. Just play around that and try to match the aggression.
Well, game number 2, Boom Esports obviously want to try and even the series out if they can, but 496, they'd love to leave with a 2-0 victory over a team like Boom. Not going to be that easy, but they're halfway there. Just not sure how to feel about the Phantom Lancer, if I'm honest, John. So every time we've seen the PL in that POS 1 role as of late, it has felt very weak.
Yeah. It's kind of fallen flat, and there's a reason why a lot of teams tend to avoid it in favor of the other Illusion heroes. Like the TBs had a better time, the Nagas had a bit of a better time as well in the POS 1. PL, I think in this game it's actually not too bad though, mainly because you don't have an outright counter. There's no Ember, there's no Shaker, there's no even a Void would be pretty good against PL, but no options like that, or a Winter Wyvern. So you've got so much room to just play on the edge, and that's where the hero shines. You know, when you get that 25 talent, you get the lower cooldown, you doppel all over the place, just force Boom to waste time. That's way down the line, but that's where the hero shines. And again, you just don't have ways of keeping him locked in. That you're going to be looking for perhaps the blink for Mikado. If you can just blink Shackle fast enough, then you can catch him out. But it's a PL. You know, doppel as long as it's off cooldown. It's nearly impossible to keep him locked in.
I admit nothing but my sadness that you're gone.
This Aghanim set, these Aghanim lines get me every time. It's, I like the voice of Aghanim. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty fantastic. I love the pitch shifter because it just loses it at the end of it. You know, it's like it just gets really bad and it still keeps going. You know.
I still wish Aghanims looked different though. Just don't like the look of it.
Oh, this guy has
I don't understand how it's a new model, but it looks just as good as Morphling though. You know, it's not quality. Then you look at the Arcana. You look at Mikado. That beautiful model. They couldn't do this for Aghanim. This guy hyped up in lore. You gotta save those polys for the waifus, Mike.
True.
It's limited supply, those polys.
Just 30 seconds now.
Lord Wind Ranger.
A bit strange, Mike. You know, it's in this movement in the map. No 5-man smoke for 496. So it's going to be a safer start. Looks like they're anticipating a movement from Boom up top, but nothing happening. Just going to be a simple trade unless they run into each other bot.
Boom is wrapping around. That BB seems to be very unaware. He's going to make a walk in, and now we'll realize, but yeah, he'll be fine. He'll walk out of range. They'll take the bounty rune down at that bot lane, and in fact, Boom will be able to take the other bounty on top of that. But 496, they will be able to just kind of go back and get the second one for themselves. So still a 2-for-2 trade. Very even start, and it does seem like Yassi was intending on trying to go for an early first blood top, but instead, he'll make the TP back down bottom and just lane with his Necrophos.
Yeah, it's a fairly potent dual lane. There's a lot of sustain that can fly out, a lot of damage as well. You don't tend to see these lifestealers go for early rage. So there's some opportunities in the first 3 levels, but you have to be careful of Kescute's damage. You can't underestimate Hunter Strike. It is fairly annoying.
Look at top lane, John. They've already started. Hyde might actually die if 458 finds him, but no, they won't. FBZ has been forced to salve up very early on. 496, they get a hell of a lot of harass out. In fact, there's your self-cancellation now on FBZ. Now, they're going to be pretty low on regen. In fact, Boom only have 1 Tango left between the 2 of them up at this top lane.
That's not a good time, and that investment in the double mango start for 458, enabling that aggression, paying off. Their wave is shoved in though, so they're going to have to find a way to correct that. But you can see just how willing they are to trade. You have to watch out though, as trying to get some damage in as well.
Yeah, battery salt's going to be up, but Bombi will turn around, get some more damage out on our clockwork, and FBZ not going to have a fun time on this Centaur, but bot lane. That BB is going to be the first blood here for Dreamercell. I guess it's not too unusual that he's finding kills in this off lane, John. This happened a lot in the last game.
Yeah, and you've got to be cautious. Again, you don't underestimate the damage of Thunderstrike. If you just keep copying it, you're not going to be able to keep up with the Deathbolt spam. It just doesn't work out. The math just doesn't add up. And, of course, that BB's not going to get the Ghost Shroud early, and he's stuck again.
They are going to go again without the Ghost Shroud up. Yassi's trying to help save that BB, but the kinetic field is going to be dropped, and that is just stuck. He'll die a second time, and he's going to have to make the walk of shame back to the lane. Even Yassi is going to take a lot of harass out from Dreamercell. He won't quite die, but this is going to be a very uncomfortable position for him, considering he has no regen left.
Again, Boom again off to a fantastic start. 2 kills for a lifestealer. Going to accelerate his time into the phase boots, probably into the armlet as well. And that's going to set the pace. If you can find a fast armlet, you can start to find some early kills.
Plus in that mid lane as well, the one we haven't really looked at yet, it's going to be Hung up against Makoto. So far, it is favoring Makoto on that Wind Ranger. And we did see this matchup before between the Wind Ranger Bat mid, and it didn't really favor the Bat Rider, as well, you pointed it out, but you can just Wind Run. And even with those sticky napalm stacks, if they can't really hit you or keep up with the Firefly, it just doesn't matter.
Definitely doesn't. Hung is going to have to dip into the jungle. That's going to be very important for our Bat mid to play recovery. The 4-minute runes are going to be up soon, but considering how busy the supports are, you're going to have to work for that yourself, and the Wind Ranger does move a bit faster there.
She does. The top lane, still a bit of a mess here. But 458 having a decent old time on the PL. Oh, bot that baby. Still just a level 2, trying to get some more levels up on this Necrophos. He's actually 1 level behind the Disruptor at the moment.
It's not good news. Really not. Like, I get that they were trying to split it up with the Earth Spirit early, and you can see Yassi's actually the level 3 hero. So he's gotten a lot more from that lane than that BB has. But you need to play recovery now. Level 4 is the spike for the Necro and self-recovery. So just play it safe, take the shove wave, and slowly work your way towards that self-sustaining point of the game.
Absolutely. Hyde trying to be interruptive here with Bombi. Be able to do too much, but he does get some decent XP out of that small camp. It's like FBZ is just going to join in and maybe clear it out himself. They haven't really been able to apply any pressure onto 458. So he's able to just continue free farming in this safe lane. Mind you, I say that, but Dreamercell's having an even better time. And speaking of that BB, he has to TP back to the fountain again on the Necrophos. He is level 3 now, but it's just tough.
It's a painful start. You get the Necros for how self-reliant it is, and up top, you do manage to get punishment onto Hyde, which is great for 458. It doesn't offset this slow start in Necrophos, so 458 is going to have to really keep at it, make sure it's worthwhile, all the sacrifices that are being made in the other lanes. Even Yassi, right? Like, Yassi would love to rotate mid as the Earth Spirit. He's got level 3. That's a key point for the Earth Spirit, but just with how bad the lane is, you can't leave that BB alone.
No, you really can't. Even Hyde now going to try and cut Yassi off, and that'll force out the Rolling Thunder, or rather the Rolling Boulder. That BB, he's going to pull the creep wave back to his tier 1 tower, and this is really the only way he's going to get any form of farm and XP in this lane. It's going to be rough if this keeps up, because you've got Makoto, who's at the top of the last hits board in that mid lane on the Wind Ranger. Dreamercell's just behind him on the Lifestealer. They are getting a huge advantage, and I suppose with your Pos 3 having such a tough time in that off lane, it doesn't really allow you to group up as 496, as 3, and just start roaming the map like they did in Game 1.
Yeah, no, there's no way. You need to play recovery here. You can see even Hong, right, from his slower start, has to play into his jungle camps. Mikado, though, he's ready to hunt. He's got the haste, setting eyes up top.
That baby's in trouble again. Getting dived, Yassi forced the TP in, but he's going to get glimpsed away, and Dreamer Cell is going to have his way with that. Death Pulse going to keep him alive for a bit longer, but not long enough, and now the Life Stealer can just infest out of there. Bombi will also TP, but it is going to be a bit of a waste. Even now, he's going to try and farm with the creep.
Very hard to last hit with 21 damage, but, you know, Dreamer Cell off to one more fantastic start. We'll see if he maintains it. This is almost the same timings as game one. Looks a bit more consistent for Boom. The biggest factor here is that Hong is not finding that recovery he'd want. And 458 is already forced to jungle early, so he's not able to join any early engagements. The PL is just a little bit more passive, not in the same way as an Arc Warden is. Like, he's not going to be split pushing as much, and that's going to be the major factor. That is something 458 gave a ton to 496 in terms of just making the map hellish for Boom to split up. They just had to counteract that.
Makoto was getting ganked in the mid lane, but looks like he can just wind run away. With Yassi and Hung there, they just did not have enough control to hold him down. This is a really, really annoying start for an Earth Spirit player when you really just can't set up for any kind of kill, and we're 8 minutes in now. He's 0-0-0 on the Earth Spirit. It's going to be a very boring time for Yassi. He's going to have to try and maybe rotate top and try to set something up there.
It's been a slower time. Doesn't quite set the momentum at all for 496. And Boom, they're happy with his pace. Look at Mikado. Null Talisman up, Javelin up, Focus Fire off.
Yep, Shackles will cancel the roll away, and Yassi is going to go down here to Makoto. And that's just going to allow him to get even closer now to that MKB he wants. Of course, with that Javelin, he has so much kill potential now already.
It's a hard one to even just close that gap and punish him at this point. You need to throw more bodies out to do that, but their focus is elsewhere. FBZ has been slowly shoving in that top lane, and they're throwing in a lot of bodies to counteract this.
FBZ is going to be chased down by Hung, but it doesn't seem like he's very confident in his ability to actually kill the Centaur. Just going to try and zone him out of that top lane, but now FBZ does have the Hood of Defiance up. So he's going to be even more confident to go in after that tier 1 top. But they are just going to let it go for now, as they have forced out enough rotations from 496 that they might just feel happy with it. As even the mid lane is being forced in by Makoto.
And that's a bigger tower to take. Since you expended the TP's top, you're going to have to walk your way mid to stop that. You're also giving free farm to Dreamocell. So his armlet is really on the way. It's really close to being finished up. You can say that 458 is getting free farm too. He is building into the diffusal you tend to see, or at least keeping it open with just one blade of alacrity. But the impact of an early PL isn't quite as scary as a life stealer on that same start, so that's something to be aware of. The power spikes of 496's cores are a bit later. And Dreamocell, if you leave him alone for too long, he might end up being a major problem. He's at level 9, 458, for his part, still level 7. So there's already a disparity there between the two cores.
When you say later on the PL, you mean way later, right? Like it does feel like it's a much later start for this Phantom Lancer's top lane. That BB, gonna get that Ghost Shroud off. Still loses half his HP in the process. Makoto does have a bit more time on that DD rune and still has the Focus Fire active, so he can go back in on that BB, and there's really no way out. He just falls so quickly, this time to FBZ, and, well, they might try to go on to hide, but can they even get that? With the Firefly, it should be enough, but Makoto is still hanging around, gets a shackle out, but just wants to disengage from this top lane, and will be able to do so.
They do successfully defend the tier 1. It's at 172 HP, so not in the nigh range, but slowing down that push Boom wants. They haven't made any big progress in that. Even Dreamocell down bot, of course, you can't expect that.
That baby just TP'd into the mid lane and got glimpsed back.
Yes, the classic.
We've all done it, John, but it's just it just slows his game down that much more. And I mean, that's still at level 6. It's so tough. So tough for this Necrophos.
And 2 levels behind that opposing center on the off. We haven't even seen that first Reaper's Sight coming out. And you know, I don't reckon 496 is the kind of team to sit on a cooldown like that. So this is hurting them. They're just forced to play a much slower game. And this is in contrast to how they usually play. So 3K behind, boom, starting to widen that gap. They're smoked up.
They are. They know they can take the fights. They're going to go down to that bot lane, where they will find 458. You've got the hook shot available on Hyde, but it can be a little bit challenging to get the real PL. Oh, and Kescue blocked the hook. It won't matter though. 458 getting shackled and glimpsed back. But can he juke his way up? No, he's not even going to try. He will just go down. Boom. Well, they committed the stampede just in case. It looks like Dreamersaw might have been in a spot of danger. But they got a huge pick off there on the PL.
Yeah, and you know, they're putting all their eggs in one basket. 458 is saving up for that defusal. Timing's going to be delayed now without that. And you continue to build up here on Dreamersaw, just being left completely alone. 6.8k net worth. So far ahead of any other comparative core in 496. Nearest one is our Batrider. Hung is at 4.6. It's not a good sign, and we're not even seeing the infest bombs, right? Dreamercell's at 11. We haven't seen that big kind of play with the clock. But once he hits 12, you can bet that perhaps, boom, they start to get itchy fingers and start to look for kills for their core.
Even funnier thing is, John, Dreamersoul's not even aiming for the Maelstrom. He's going straight Armored Deso. So, not really caring for the PL, it seems. Just wanting to go for the standard build that he always builds into. We'll see if it does come to bite him later on. I guess he must feel pretty confident.
I think what does it is that with how Wind Ranger works with Focus Fire, you'll always sort of be able to tell which one the real PL is, right? Like if you get the Focus Fire first after the Shackle, if it's the right one, even if he doppels, Focus Fire is still on. So you can still figure him out, although rotation.
That's very true. Hyde, gonna get rolled on, should die here. He'll get the cogs out, but that'll be it. Except the fact that he is gonna die anyway. Now 496, they look interested in trying to get some more going. You still have that lasso up for Hung. Still hasn't really been able to commit it. And they must know that Dreamersoul is farming like a dream at the moment, almost halfway to that Desolator now. It's going to be a concern if this keeps up.
Yeah, it's getting pretty bad, but there's that smoke play. There's the infest on Hyde. Boom. They're getting those itchy fingers are kicking in. Can they find someone?
Hyde's going to be there on the clockwork, trying to get a nice hook shot off. Well, that could be the unfortunate victim as well if he keeps running towards that triangle. And yeah, he's going to get caught out now. Hook shot in. Dreamersoul will pop out. Not only will they get the kill on the Necrophos, but they'll get the bounties at the bot lane. It's nothing that 496 could really do about it. They just have to let him go.
Yeah, it's a sacrifice they have to make. I think at this point they'll just consider the space for 458, who does have the defusal on the PL. So there's a massive power spike for that here, but look at that. Mikado just jumps in.
Here we go. 458 still being focus fired and now shackled, but Yassi is going to roll in with the magnetize. But Makoto wants to keep going after that PL with that focus fire, still doing a lot of damage, and 458 does drop, but they do kill Makoto off in return. Now the egg is going to be committed by Bombi. It's being focused down by Kescue, but he's attacked way too slow, and they turn back onto FBZ, who does hop the Hood of Defiance and wants to turn back around onto Bombi, who'll get glimpsed back on the Phoenix. But he does at least kill off Kescue before he does go down. Now the hook shot out from Hyde, also catching out Yassi. So still a positive trade for Boom Esports, but there was some moments of brilliance there from 496.
Yeah, you're starting to see some of those issues though. Like the PL into Wind Ranger is a really weird matchup because of how Focus Fire works. And now that you've got the MKB on Mikado, the damage is going to be more consistent onto that PL. And Mikado did overextend a bit, but you just can't avoid it. Like, he can really just figure out which one's the real one. And that's almost kind of unfair, isn't it? Because of how Focus Fire works now.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of unfair. It kind of makes sense at the same time. I mean, if it didn't work that way and he just doppeled away and suddenly Focus Fire stopped working, it'd be kind of annoying.
It would also be unfair, yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes unfair is the fairer option, I guess.
That's true. Still, yeah, invading that jungle. 458 still trying to farm, and
BZ gonna jump in, get a nice easy kill onto Yassi. And they might think about Roshan here. They've got the Desolator up on your lifesteal on. Makoto doesn't seem to need it anyway. He's just focus firing it down. It's gonna be a nice quick process here for Boom Esports. Without that Earth Spirit, you don't really have much chance of stealing this away. They won't even be close.
It's a big loss for 496. Helps to widen that momentum lead for Boom. Still maintaining a 4K lead. But you've got the second life now on Mikado, so it's not as simple to pick him off. And
he's been stunned up by FBZ. He goes for the Stampede in as well on Hyde. Going for the hook shot, but he'll catch Yassi instead. They'll try to burst the Earth Spirit down. He can't roll away because Dreamer Cell is just hitting away. But now the lasso comes out. Dreamer Cell is in a spot of danger and will actually die.
Boom, boom, boom. That is what you sound like.
Oh, that may have not been it. They lose both the clock and the lifesteal. They don't get anything in return.
Great punishment for 496. Not quite the way that initiation should have gone. Mikado wasn't in the general area. He had to run up, and a bit too late though.
FBZ, with that Sun Ray, they are going to be able to get the damage out. And, well, Makoto at least does kill off Hung in the mid lane, so you do get a nice pick off there. But 496, they're starting to slowly come back into this game number 2. It's a lot more even than you would have expected. In fact, Makoto now going to get spotted out by Yassi. He'll go for the roll in. You've got that BB there with the Reaper Scythe to try and help it. Yassi doesn't have the damage output. Power shot from Makoto, barely going to miss Yassi. He'll just roll away. There is a glimpse back onto that BB. He has the Sun Ray out from Bombi, who also has the egg. But now Dreamer Cell's going to pop out and will eventually get the kill. Makoto, he may not be done, but I think 496 probably should be.
This guy has no chill.
He will back off. Glimpse, however,
glimpse.
458 getting caught now with the focus fire out from Makoto. He does not want to dive tier 2s, but Dreamer Cell does. So he goes in with the open wounds, and 458 just can't get away. And now Bombi going to be in danger. He does not have the Icarus dive. There's a tree being planted for the shackle, and they will get another.
The bounce back for Boom. Slowly picking off 496, and that's where 496 kind of falls apart. And they can't afford to stream in. They need to force these fights in their terms. They need to be together, play as a team. Otherwise, Boom, they're going to have a lot of opportunities to find some easy pickings here.
BZ's not done. He wants more. He wants to go after Hung. It's like Hung will be able to remove himself from the situation.
A gift from the Tempest of Battle. Dire are scanning for enemies.
496, I mean, what can they do about this? They still need so much more farm on this PL to be able to be aggressive. Another nice shackle. It's going to be out onto Makoto. Excuse me, onto Hung, and Makoto will take another kill.
Oh man, I am loving these plays for the Arwen tree. Just setting up for yourself, always finding the shackles in that sense. Mikado is just dancing.
Hyde, hook shot in. Does catch Bombi, but that'll force out the egg. Now that BB with the Ghost Shroud, trying to slow them down within the X range. Reaper Scythe is also going to be committed, but FBZ now jumps in with a nice hoof stomp. Static Storm will be dropped, and that BB is going to die anyway. It's going to be a glimpse back? No. 458 will juke out the glimpse. Bombi's going to try and Icarus dive out, but it looks like FBZ will remain on the chase with Makoto, and that's a great shackle out from Makoto. Another 4 heroes to die for 496. The net worth lead continues to increase for Boom Esports, now at 7K.
Yeah, they're keeping up with the pace as 496. That was a better fight. That was them going in a little bit more stitched together. The egg was forced a bit prematurely, but they need more numbers in. Like Hung wasn't around the area for the most part. Of course, 458 is just busy farming elsewhere, which is space. But when the numbers are there, it just doesn't add up. Boom will have the numbers to overcome you, and you need to make use of these tools. There's a BKB now on Hung, so he's a bit safer when he goes for the lasso. Gonna be important for him to find those openings, but he doesn't have a blink. He's gonna have to run up to get the lasso. It's not the easiest task as the Bat Rider in this game.
Mid lane, 496 gonna group up once again. You want to defend that mid tier 2. Instead, Dreamer Cell looking to go for that bottom tier 2 tower. He saw the TPs coming into that mid tier 2, so there's going to be no defense out. In fact, Yassi's going to lose his courier, trying to get it to the secret shop, and they'll get another tower. 496, they have smoked, looking to fight. FBZ will break the smoke of that BB and now hide, getting vision with that rocket flare. See, a glimpse back onto that BB will force out the Ghost Shroud, and now Yassi in the middle of all this should now be able to get out, but he does get a nice magnetize off, but they have lost Hung already, and now Yassi will also go down to Dreamer Cell. This Boom will just keep following 458. Kodo with the wind run, FBZ trying to break the gap with the hoof stomp. Rocket Flare will give vision of 458 on the high ground. No, it's not going to be enough. BB, gotta be cautious. They're all still around. It looks like that's gonna be it. Boom will start setting up for that mid tier 2 tower.
That was them smoked up. They should have broken off when the smoke broke, and you saw that BB actually pulling back early, but the duo in front just opted to jump in. That was the 10-second BKB of Hung, committed to no effect. He just dies while it's up. It's not a good showing. You try to reset, rework how these fights are supposed to break out, figure out what targets you want. Like, who do you want to lasso in this case? I think the biggest one you could hope for beyond Dreamer Cell is probably just Mikado straight up, because of how much work he puts in with the shackle. So you need to somehow clear the gap into the back line, get one of those key heroes in the lasso. Hung, again, it's so difficult without the blink. They probably just want to go back to farming and work towards that blink. And the issue is you're giving Boom space to grow big as well, so you're going to have to be very careful how long and how much time you take in this game, as Boom, they still got the 9k lead. 458 does have a Manta, so it's Manta Diffusal up on the PL. He hasn't really been able to last and survive through anything. The issue is, if you get caught by Mikado, you are still more than likely dead.
Hide. Having a gander through the dire jungle. It looks like the pings are coming up towards that top lane with the Stampede out. 458 needs the doppel, but here comes Hyde now with the control and Dreamer Cell in the life stealer. He tried to juke them out with the illusion, but they will not fall for it. Makoto will just snipe him from a mile away with that power shot. It's a 22-9 for Boom Esports. Still a 9k net worth lead. Matters are only getting worse now as Makoto, he has the blink on the way.
Yeah, and he's already been setting up for his team. With that blink, can be easier to find that perfect spot. He could just jump in anywhere, plant the Ironwood, get the shackle off. Very fast fingers for Mikado to get that done in a snap. And 496, they're just not finding anything. Even that mid-tier 1 still standing. Not safe to farm in that bot jungle.
Boom's looking for a fight. Hyde has the hook shot. Doesn't quite see Yassi. Nor does he see Bombi. They're both going to get out of there. Back into that mid lane. They have spotted out that BB. Rocket Flare will give the vision for the glimpse back with the Disruptor. He does get the Ghost Form off, but it really is not going to matter. Kescute picking up that kill with the Static Storm. 458 still going mid. Hook shot. Oh, it's perfect from Hyde going through the peel, and now the shackle out from Makoto, locking them both in. Yassi, he's trying to roll out, but there is no chance in hell. Hung, he'll firefly out of there. That's a great hook shot from Hyde. They're even going to force the egg out from Bombi, but it is, of course, going to get bursted down by Dreamercell. They might just go for the mid-tier 2 tower.
And there's nothing stopping them now. They managed to take out all the big targets. Mikado again with the shackles, true to trees. Like every single time we see these plays, Mike, it's always true to tree line into 2 heroes. And that's just so demoralizing. You know, you think you're spaced out well, you think you're safe. The Wind Ranger changes that perception. You're forced to fortify for a tier 2. If they decide to push high ground, there's no fortify to stop that.
They may be able to very, very soon. I mean, Dreamercell's hitting like a truck already. He actually has gone back for the Maelstrom and does want to finish off that Mjolnir. And once that's up, you start to ask the question of how they're going to be able to deal with Dreamercell. So you look at 458, he's still just trying to work towards that Abyssal Blade, but that probably isn't going to help his cause out at all. Now, boom, they've smoked up. Look at Flare. Oh, it's going to catch out 458. They know where they are. But Roshan is also up and available. They're going to choose the Roshan attempt over going for another team fight. And that is, of course, the sensible decision to make.
Yeah, it's a safe play. That is Aegis and Cheese going down to Boom. There is a clump up though. 496R smoke behind, but a bit too late.
It is definitely too late. Now they just want to get up, and Hung is going to get a lasso off onto Dreamercell with the Reaper's Scythe, but no, it's not enough. Dreamercell, he gets the cheese off in time. Now Bombi will go down. 458, he's trying to fight, but I don't think this is fightable. He's trying, however, on that life stealer, but there's your Static Storm now out from Kezcute. That's going to lock them all down. Oh, how did he get the cheese off in time?
I wish I knew, because I swear I saw the Reaper's Sight on top. Maybe
it wasn't enough.
Hello?
Hung. Yeah, he's caught. He's going nowhere. Kezcute picking up another kill on the Disruptor. This is that high ground time we talked about. There's no outer towers left. They've got the Aegis on Makoto. Might be about that time to try for the high ground.
Yeah, it's going to be open. You do have Yassi trying to creep cut, and that does limit the amount of creeps they have to work with. They've only got 3, so they've got to be quick about it, as it's going to be a while until the next one. Still, they have a lot of time here to get that done. There is an egg up for 496. That's got to be the big one. They need Bombi to land a really good egg to space them out.
FAB going to walk in with the Ghost Shroud, and that'll be it. The tier 3 tower goes down. They don't have any more creeps, so they can't get through the backdoor protection.
Yeah. Take your time here, Boom. There's that Mjolnir up on Dreamocell. So he's looking fantastic. Has even more right-click damage flying out. And he does go into Mikado. That was seen under an observer ward from 496. You should be aware of the aggressive intent here.
They are. They do go back to their high ground, and we'll just chill out there for a bit. Problem is, when you're stuck on this high ground, you're not really getting much farm in. They are just trying to split push all the lanes to not allow another high ground attempt. You'll see Hung taking care of the top lane, and the bot lane is being taken care of by 458. 458 has to be a bit wary of Makoto and Dreamercell, who are right behind him. Here comes Makoto. Oh, he's got the power shot. He has the vision. 458, he's going to run into him with the rocket flare now. And they do get the shackle on the right one. Oh, Makoto, he has been a real problem for 496 this game.
It's been way too much. From the laning phase onto and onward. Like 496 should have expected that lane, although the hook up top.
Yeah, onto Bombi. He doesn't have Icarus time. He's just guaranteed to die here unless he pops the egg, but even then, there's just no chance of survival. Oh, they might even find that BP.
This is the real.
Makoto, he kills off Hung at the top lane. They're just getting him one by one across the map.
Oh, man. It's really difficult now for 496. Their defense is it's just not going to come out in time. If you're not big enough in 458, he's been trying to keep up in form. He's 4K behind at best. And they're just going to siege through. There's just nothing to stop this.
One rack's down, they'll go for the bottom tier 3 tower. Makoto now has the Aghanim Scepter available, so it's going to make life even harder for 496. That'll be another tier 3 tower gone. Dreamer Soul unwilling to risk it any further. We'll just go back for a bit. They might just reset and re-engage. In fact, yeah, that's the plan. FBZ gets the infested Lifestealer.
These bottom barracks are under attack.
They'll slowly siege away. Dreamer Soul, he gets a bit impatient now, just jumps out, gets the job done himself. Of course, back to full HP and basically full mana. With that Mjolnir, it is super hard to do anything against him.
Yeah.
That'll be the second Rax.
And have to be a bit cautious. Aegis does expire in about 20 seconds. So it's a safe time to pull out. Just continue to build that farm up. 24K lead here for Boom. 496 starting to really lag behind. 33 to 9. Just not that aggressive playstyle we're used to seeing. It's not coming out, and every single item has just stalled out. None of these cores are building into anything, and it's costing them.
Oh, Hung, he's actually caught out. Fogwork, so Hyde is going to get Reaper's Scythe. That's one kill out for 496, but FBZ and Dreamer Soul might want to keep fighting. The Infest is there again from Dreamer Soul. They aren't really going to have a target, or maybe they do. Makoto again onto 458. He does actually get the real one with the focus fire, and now that BB trying to help out, gets stunned on the way in.
I
never realized, but Makoto also has a spider leg, so it's he just runs so quick.
And you know, it's fun because Ag's wind run takes off the move speed limit, so
Yeah.
he just goes stupid fast. Oh man.
It's just one of those things with Dota. That's without the spider leg, so that's the thing. She's not even using him yet.
Come on, Makoto, you gotta show us those legs.
There we go.
Oh, how fast? 916, yeah. Beautiful.
Radiant's top tower is
Very fair. Darksy's crying in the corner somewhere.
He got nerfed and this stays in.
FBZ, Move Stomp will be avoided by 458, but they are going to make the jump onto Bombi. The Ghost Scepter will save, but now the Static Storm and glimpse back onto your PL. That is 458 gone. And Makoto, what a shackle again coming out. He connects on two. That'll be that BB gone. Now the hook shot in from Hyde. That'll be Yassi gone as well on the Earth Spirit, and they call it. They've had enough. Bombi will get an egg out. It's going to die. Scrambled eggs for Boom. And that'll be it. They will get a tied series, 1-1 between these two.
Yeah, look, 496 had a fantastic first game, but Boom, they play that same game up against 496. They do the aggressive playstyle in game number 2. Mikato on that Wind Ranger, man, just fantastic. We've seen a lot of fantastic Wind Rangers. Mikato is up